Hi, I'm Richard Lloyd. I'm probably best known as the guitarist in television, along with Tom Verlaine and Billy Ficca, the drummer, and Fred Smith, the bass player. And we're the band that needed a place to play, so we found a dump on the Bowery called CBGB's. And we're the band that convinced Hilly to have music other than what his initials stood for, CBGB's, which stood for country blues and bluegrass, and other music for undernourished gourmandizers. In any case, I'm going to be giving you some instruction that is connected with the column that's in the magazine. The first one, it doesn't really have a lot of practical exercises in it, but following it is a huge snowball effect, because there is a way of looking at the guitar that is not piano-based. It's based on the fact that the guitar itself in the architecture of the instrument follows extraordinarily deep laws of music that the piano has forfeited in lieu of being able to play a major scale. The piano has given up a viewpoint into the cycle of fourths and fifths, which is, you might say, the genetic code of music. It's perfect musical movement. It's a very deep study, and it began 2,700 years ago, or even much longer. But we know that Pythagoras in the 500 or so BC brought what we now know as the musical scale to an island off of Italy, even though people think he was Greek. Pythagoras built himself a single-string guitar. He called it a monochord. And when he did it, he built it with one fret that you could move around and measure. If you take a vibrating string and you sound it, the ratio is 1 to 1. It gets along with itself. It has the same name. It can't fight. There's no trouble involved. It's at rest. Musically, it's called the tonic. If you take the same string and divide it in half, and in the guitar's case, that's terrific, because all we need to do is the double dot 12th fret, that's the half marker. In fact, the note, if I had a pickup on this side and a pickup on this side, they'd be the same note. If you prevent a half of the string from sounding, the ratio of 1/2 will sound. Now that's called consonants. It's so much in agreement with the original note, I mean, nowhere else. But at the ratio of 1 to 2, I have a note that's so consonant, it is so that a blindfolded person can't tell if I play octaves, if they're in tune and don't beat, and if the timbre of the instrument allows, on a synthesizer, for instance, if I played a series of octaves, you would hear it as one note. They all share the same name. The next ratio in whole numbers, we'll just walk our way up, would be 2/3. That's really simple, because at the 7th fret is a third. I can imagine another third. Now remember, this is frequency, but just by the eye, you can see it too. This is about a third of the instrument, leaving 2/3 to sound. And in relationship to the original note, I get this. That's very consonant. It's called a perfect. In fact, in a world full of nothing but tonics and what are now we'll call octaves, that's the ratio of 1/2, or 2 to 1. Doesn't matter which number's on either side. That would be a pretty boring universe. So the ratio of 2/3 gives us a note that musically we call the dominant, because like a forest full of octaves, one dominant will stand out. Then I divide by 3/4, and I prevent 1/4 from sounding, and that's the 5th fret. And I get another relationship that is consonant to the degree that is called perfect. After the these two are considered perfects, the 4 and the 5. The next ratio would be, what did I do? 1/2, 2/3, 3/4, 4/5 gives you, take out a fifth, leave 4/5, you get the major third. We're now getting an underpinning. It's consonant, but we're getting an underpinning of, I don't know, clouds brewing in the distance. Then we go to the ratio of 5/6. Well, now we're deep in it, because this is the minor third. And until about 200 years ago, this was frowned upon as a really dark, now it's the minor, we love it. I'm not going to talk about 6/7 or 7/8, because they're not used in the 12-tone system that we use in the West as ratios. The whole step ratio is 9/8. And this is got some pluses and minuses to it, but you've prevented a ninth and allowed 8/9 to sound. The final half step, or minor second, is 15/16. So I've prevented 1/16 from this being an octave. What that means is that the minor second really wants to go home by going down, and the minor second that's below, 15/16 below, is called the leading tone, the 7, really wants to go up. And those are the most dissonant of the relationships. What we see is as the ratio goes up, 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 9 to 8 to 9, 15 to 16th, we get more and more troubled. And more tension is, there's only one more that's more tension-filled than the minor second or the 7th, and that is this tone, which is called the tritone. It's also called the devil's interval, and it has a ratio of 32 to 45. Now, if you happen to know that this is the most dissonant thing possible, you might open a song with it. It would sound like this, and if you don't know this, I don't know where you've been. That's the tritone. The tritone is the devil's interval, and he demands resolution. So those are your ratios. You can do a million things with them. All of music comes from them. I hope you study them. I hope you do well. Read. And try to see that whatever you're looking at musically, on the inside are these ratios and the relationships. It's a skeleton key for understanding a great number of other things connected with the guitar, and we'll be talking about that in the months to come. Thanks a lot. Hi, I'm Richard Lloyd, author of the Alchemical Guitarist column in Guitar World. This month we're going to talk about positional play and the pentatonic boxes. 1 flat 3 4 5 flat 7, or in a major 1 2 3 5 6. Today we're going to take the pentatonic scale, which is a 5-note shortcut through the major scale, and we're going to in fact add another note, technically making it a hexatonic scale or a 6-note scale. Now, if I add the tritone back in, I'll end up with what is usually called the blues tone. It's a hexatonic scale of 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. In the meantime, you have this new pattern to work out, which is really simple, and it's based on the diatonic scales. or you simply take out the middle note.